Hi everyone, my name is Erin Elizabeth Wimmer. Thanks so much for choosing to be here with me today. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you are new here. Today I have a tarot pick a card reading for you, just some short little angel messages. Today is 2/2, February 2nd, 2nd of February. So I always like to do a little nice short mini readings just to give you some uplifting messages, some support, some, things to help us stay on the path, to remember what's going on, and just kind of guide us a little bit. So I have 4 groups for you today. I've inserted a picture of the cards. You can go ahead and pause the video. You can pick by the card you can see. You can pick by the number, pick by whatever speaks to you. And when you're ready, all the timestamps are below, and I will see you at the reading that you chose. Hi everyone, welcome to everyone who picked group number 1. So you all picked the card, Our Lady of Answered Prayers. I love this card. This is one of my favorite decks. It's so beautiful. So if you pick this card, part of you is resonating with the idea that, maybe some of your prayers haven't been answered. Maybe you've been trying really hard, focusing on making things happen. Like I'm asked God every day for this thing. Why isn't it happening? Right. And that's, sometimes, unfortunately, some of the mainstream messages that are floating around right now are that we are powerful enough to make things happen on our timeline. And we are in control of us and how we think and how we respond to life, but we're still living life on life's terms, and God is in charge. We are not the ultimate authority. God is, no matter how much some spiritual things want to give that message, right? So this is really just remembering that anytime we are waiting for a prayer to be answered, it's for one of many reasons. So the first could just be that, we think we want something, but that's not actually the best thing for us, right? There could be this energy of there's a better match for us and we just don't know because we're so limited with our human minds. It could be that, it's like that saying, what you go through while you're waiting, what you develop while you're waiting is making you a better match for the thing you're waiting for. So if you've been waiting for a really long time, you're like, where is it? Like the patience you learn, the relationship with yourself that deepens, the things you have to deal with based on where you are right here, right now, are actually making you a better match for the thing you're waiting for. And also, maybe that thing isn't ready for you quite yet either. So there's so many factors going on. And it's important to remember that, like, God doesn't hate you. God isn't punishing you. God isn't, you have to remove, or all of us have to remove ourselves from this idea that God is like a genie or Santa Claus, just like waiting to rain down, whatever we want. Of course, you can ask for what you want, but it's important to remember that God's will, not our will. And it's important to remember that, like, our spiritual, if you believe in angels or spirit guides or anything on the other side, is not malicious, does not have malicious intentions for you. It's just there's so many things our ego wants that actually are damaging and not super helpful or comfortable for our soul. So just your prayers are answered, even if it's not right now. Right, not now doesn't mean never. And so just have faith and trust in that, there could be something going on beyond. There definitely is something going on beyond our limited human understanding, and it's not for punishment. So, there's so many things. I'm sure you have many examples in your life of times you've asked for things and you didn't get it, and then what came along was better, or you had to go through that certain thing you had to go through, and then maybe you can't find. There's certain things we can't find a meaning in. We're not going to spiritualize like painful situations in our life. But, it could just be an opportunity to be more kind and loving to yourself, right? As you're waiting for something, it could just be an opportunity for you to be compassionate, to soothe yourself, to deepen your relationship with yourself, right? Okay, and then so I'm going to pick 3 tarot cards for you, and then we will get into some oracle cards for your little mini reading. Okay, nice one, group 1. We have King of Pentacles, the Empress, and Justice. So similar cards here. 3 people just sitting down, 3 people sitting, and a lot of very, very powerful energy here with this. So I think with this King of Pentacles, this Empress energy, and Justice, this is just a message to remember, make sure you're taking care of all things that you are responsible for within yourself. So maybe if you've been feeling a little heartbroken about, like, your prayers haven't been getting answered, you don't feel like they're working, that it's working out for you, this is a reminder that, this King of Pentacles, regardless of your gender, we all have masculine and feminine energy in ourselves. So we all need to balance what we're doing versus some feminine, that's masculine energy versus feminine energy things, which is like what we're thinking, what we're allowing. So this is about balancing that King of Pentacles, like very masculine. What's my boundaries? What am I working towards? What am I moving towards? How am I feeling? The Empress, which is very, very feminine energy, just a lot of like, am I trying to make things happen too much? Can I be more receptive? Can I be more peaceful? Can I be more focused within myself? And then Justice, which is about, the boundaries and balance energy. So I think, strong message for you for group one is just really allowing yourself to be able to make sure, while you're waiting for your prayer to be answered, making sure you're being responsible for yourself, making sure you're not letting your self-care go to hell, or like you're not showing up for yourself, you're not taking care of yourself, just making sure you are using all the tools you have in all the areas of your life to make sure that your life is abundant, that you are being responsible for yourself, for your side of the street, all of that energy, because, again, this is like, all these three cards are very similar. So this is like three, I didn't say three sides of the same coin, but coins don't have three sides. So three different energies of like the same being. So making sure you're balancing your, masculine, feminine, and then your boundaries, what you want to have balance with in your life. All of those things together make a healthy person, not ignoring one over the other, but instead making sure we're allowing all three of those things to coexist and be in balance with each other. Okay, which deck do I use? And then we'll get some oracle messages for you. Oh, how nice. Start anew. So I feel like, again, maybe you've been, sometimes if we think something's really going to happen, we're really praying for it, we really want to make it happen. Sometimes we think, okay, well, I can put my life on hold until this particular thing comes. It's the case of the when I haves, but this card is really saying, you don't need to wait until this thing comes into your life. You can take care of yourself. You can build your relationship with yourself. You can look at your boundaries. You can look at who you are. You can every day, every hour, every minute, you can start anew if you want. So we always have this opportunity to show up for ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to just realign with ourselves, to start over each moment. Sometimes there is something cathartic about, going to bed and then being like, okay, tomorrow's a new day, I can start tomorrow, right? But if we use that as an excuse, then sometimes we can get caught up in not taking care of ourselves, which I do not condone. It's every day is a great day to do something for yourself, to set a boundary, to say no, any and all of that energy. So just remember that, you don't have to wait until your prayer is answered to be responsible for yourself, take care of yourself, to, offer something in your life in a new fresh way. Nope, thought that one was going to come out, but it didn't. Oh, a time for healing, balsamic moon. So again, I feel like I'm just getting a lot of heavy energy. Maybe there's some sadness for you, group one, of like, my prayers haven't been answered. Why didn't this happen? So sometimes, as humans, we can get very addicted to like, well, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And it's really hard for us, especially going against the capitalistic corporate grain system that we're all pushed into, to remember we are allowed to heal, we are allowed to rest, we are allowed to take some time for ourselves. So remembering, even if things like aren't happening in physical reality in the way you want, you still could be moving through a time that is healing and kind, and resting is important, and is maybe you are going through this period of rest so that you can be a better match for whatever thing you're praying for, whatever thing you're waiting for in your life. And don't downplay what it means to slow down, to rest, to, human being, not human doing, as they say. Okay, two of these flew out of here, so we'll look at them both. So we have guided by spirit, and we have rejection is protection. So I think, again, just what I was talking about with just trust the timing of your life, trust what's brought to you. God knows better than we know, thank God. Because otherwise, sometimes we would choose some things that are not the best for us. So just remembering rejection is protection. And there are things that we go through that don't serve us. And we can think we want something so bad, but maybe we don't know about, you know, something that would be a total not match for us because we can't see it. But we think, oh yeah, this thing will be amazing for me, I can't wait, whatever. But if we actually knew the full details of it, we wouldn't be super drawn to it anymore. So just having faith that if you don't match up for something, or, you know, you're still waiting for some of these prayers to be answered, that it's not punishment, there's something going on there that just wouldn't be a match for you. And then guided by spirit, again, this is just making sure you're setting those boundaries, praying, listening to yourself, you know, just taking care of yourself in the ways you know how to, in the ways you know you deserve, so that you can be a match for this thing you're praying for eventually. Okay, and then we'll close. I'll put these cards so far away. Then we'll close with one affirmation for you, group one. It's safe to ask for help. Okay, so I feel like, again, maybe, you know, you've been trying with this prayer, and then even with this balance of these three cards that came out, I feel like, you know, maybe you've been trying to make everything happen on your own. Maybe you feel out of control, you feel out of whack, you feel like, you know, I have to make this happen or else it's not going to happen. It's just a reminder that it is safe to ask for help. And when you stop trying to do everything on your own, that's when help appears. And that's when, you know, you just kind of lighten your load. The miracle is always asking for help, especially if you have people in your life who love you and care about you. More people than you know want to help you. It's just for us to get out of our own ways, our own way, and ask for help. Okay, that's everything I have for you. Happy Tutu. Hope you have a wonderful angel number day today. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. If you ever want any more information about me, all that is linked below. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Hi everyone, welcome. This is for everyone who picked group number 2. So you all picked Our Lady of Sacred Waters. I love this card, I love this deck, it's so beautiful. So this is just a reminder that, you know, Mother Mary, or whatever you believe in, has this wonderful power to remind us that we are capable of cleansing ourselves. We're capable of coming out the other side. We're capable of being washed anew. We're capable of, like, you know, we don't have to emotionally, physically stay in the same place as always. And, you know, water is a wonderful element. We are made of a lot of water. And, you know, water can be very sacred and holy for us, and it can be a really wonderful cleansing tool for us. So if you need to release something, if you need to emotionally let go, if you're somewhere where you have water in nature where you can go, a creek, a river, the ocean, the sea, you know, it can be something very cleansing to just hear that sound and imagine it washing over you, cleansing yourself. If you can take a bath or even in a shower, just like imagine, you know, anything you need to release emotionally being released, and knowing that, you know, there's so much symbolism, and it's very cathartic to wash ourselves and imagine that being like some emotional release for us. And so this is really reminding you that you can call in this energy of like being washed clean, of water being sacred, of being a sentient being to take care of ourselves, and know that, you know, when you do wash yourself, when you get to the other side, it is worth it. And also, even just without the actual physical water, if there's something you've been emotionally holding on to, this is a sign it's safe to let it go. You can move on, you can move forward with your life, you can offer some space to grow and change and evolve, right? Sometimes we think, oh, this is so horrible, I can never get past it, or we hold on to things so much longer than we need to. And letting things go and forgiving them, releasing them, doesn't mean that we like it, doesn't mean that we condone it, doesn't mean that we want it to happen again. It just means that we understand it's time to let something go. And so if you've been needing to let something go, to wash something clean, to you know, just give yourself permission to stop holding on to something that's not serving you. Maybe it's just like a protective technique or something just out of habit. If you need to let something go, this is a card, a really good sign to remember that, you know, it's time to move forward. It's time to, you know, stop. It's time to wash clean, right? It's time to cleanse ourselves. It's time to let go of some of these things from the past that, again, very tempting to hold on to. I get it. I've done it. And sometimes, especially, we think it'll keep me safe if I remember that this thing happened, or if I, I have to remember this so that it doesn't happen again, right? It's like I have to hold on to this for so long, or else I'll never get over it. Okay, I'm going to just pull 3 tarot cards for you. Well, 2 came out. So I already pulled 2 and 2 more came out. So we're going to look at 4. So we have the 2 of Wands, the Page of Cups, Strength, and 10 of Cups. So I feel like I'm going to go 2 and 2 because I can't hold 4 at once. So I feel like with this 3 of Wands and this Page of Cups, this is, you have a decision to make, and it could be just even like letting go of this energy I was talking about. It could just be releasing this thing. It could be, moving forward. It could be being willing to, I'm trying to like not let this sun get too much taken over. So, it could just be letting something go, making a decision based on it's time to move forward. It's time to release this. It's time to not let it completely affect my whole life and energy field anymore, which again, easier said than done, I know. But, if you are having trouble making a decision moving forward, it could be that you're holding on to something that you need to let go. It's blocking your discernment, blocking your judgment, blocking your decision-making skills. But the truth is, once you do that, you will get a pleasant surprise from a new beginning. So, this can be like a lot of stagnant, stuck energy. But instead, if you're willing to move forward, if you're willing to make a choice, even if it's just something small for the time being, until you get the more clarity to take steps, continuing to move forward, there can be a surprise in here for you with this Page of Cups, instead of, again, just feeling totally like, I don't know what to do. I can't, when we have things we need to let go of in our energy field, it's harder for us to let things go and to move forward, because we're so focused on, this past thing is clouding our judgment. It could be fear stopping us. It could be, I don't feel comfortable moving forward. It could be, any and all of that. But then look at this. Once you find your inner strength, you're going to get abundance, right? So this is just saying, don't focus on achieving the very, very far off, really extreme, really intense goal, right? That can stop us. If we're here and we're thinking about, level 800, that's good to have like a long-term goal, but we just want to do one step at a time, one thing at a time. And that's going to get us all the way to there. Because even, I love the tarot is very literal. We have the Page of Cups and then turns into the 10 of Cups. So when you find the strength, just keep going, to just be brave enough to do one thing at a time, one step at a time, keep moving forward, then you will get to this place with the 10 of Cups that is very abundant. It is very fulfilling. It is so much emotional fulfillment when you, again, do have the strength to keep moving forward, keep washing clean, keep giving yourself permission to grow and change, and kind of like let go of these old versions of you that don't serve you anymore and aren't, it's not helpful. We can keep ourselves stuck just by holding on to not even what other people have done to us or things we've been through, but from old versions of ourselves that it's time to let go of. But we think, I can't let go of this. This is quote unquote who I am, right? This is I've been like this for too long. I can't change now. But when you find the strength to do something different, to be different, you will get rewarded on the other side. Okay, and then we have Create came out for you. So I think this is really beautiful. So I think, this is, if you're an artist, this is obviously a very clear sign for you, whatever your art is. But this is also a sign to, create a new story, tell a new story about yourself. So, maybe your thing you need to let go of is, I'm always late, or I never can find a relationship, or whenever I get to my job, it always turns out bad. I mean, create could just be creating a new story, telling a new story about yourself, showing up in a kind, loving way for yourself in a way you haven't done. But also, of course, I really support the arts. I think it's really an important part of our human soul to honor. So if you are a musician, if you are a writer, if you're a painter or pottery or jewelry making, I mean, any type of creativity that you do, hedge cutting, as we see here, if you do any type of any creativity, this card is really just a reminder that it's important, and we can really communicate with ourselves and get more clear with ourselves when we do have that creative channel open. It just does something to our soul and opens us up in a way that our logic mind sometimes can't be connected to. So just, it's not about figuring everything out, it's about being creative and then like allowing the guidance to come in because you've opened that channel and that connection to the other side, instead of just being like, this is what I have to do, this is my focus, this is, the way it has to go for everything. Okay, we're gonna pick one of these cards. Don't let pride get in your way. Full moon and Leo. So you might be a Leo because we have Leo obviously here, and then the strength card also represents Leo energy. So if not, don't worry about it too much, but any Leos out there, hello. So I think this could be, maybe your pride. It's not just like, I'm too prideful to do this. It could be admitting that you made a mistake. It could be admitting that you didn't act in a way that you're super proud of, or that you're very, maybe you weren't acting in the most graceful you could have acted when we're talking about cleansing and letting things go. So I think this is, don't let your pride get in your way of your life now. If you've changed and if you have atoned and if you have realized, I acted in this way, but this isn't really who I want to be anymore, that's all we can do. Nobody's perfect. Live and learn, and it's just these things we have to go through, and it's part of the human experience. So don't let your pride get in the way in terms of healing, moving forward. And we do the best we can with what we have and what we're socialized, and for most of us, what we had to do to survive until we know better. And so don't let your pride get in your way. Again, isn't just about like being too prideful to ask for help or to try something new or whatever. It's, I think, with the theme of this reading, it's don't let your pride get in your way in terms of like admitting mistakes or being honest about ways that you didn't, you need to like kind of cleanse yourself from, and that can include like some judgment of self that might be going on. Okay, and then we'll pick one of these cards. Ignite your soul's desire. Okay, so again, I feel like just based on what we're seeing in this reading, like maybe you are having trouble making decision or moving forward because you feel a lot of shame, or you feel like you can't move forward or something like this. So this card is really just about, again, giving yourself permission to ignite your soul's desire, right? To really listen to that inner voice, to really give yourself permission to become who you want to become, to let go of your past and not use that as like, punishment for yourself anymore. Have faith that you moved on, you've grown, you've changed, you've been accountable for yourself, make the amends you need to make. And then, the only thing, we don't gain anything from staying stuck in a situation that has expired. It's just time for us to forgive ourselves, to move on, to know better, to do better. Again, no one's perfect, regardless of what we see on the internet and all of that stuff. It really is just about doing the best we can with the information we have and then moving from there. I love being me. How nice. A wonderful affirmation to close with. So again, just a reminder that if you've been judging yourself, being mean to yourself, just using something to like beat yourself up over and over again, just remember all of your experiences add up to you. Everything you've gone through makes you you, and you can choose. I love being me. It's amazing. You are a gift. You have things to offer. I love being me. You got to love yourself, because no one else in this life is going to be with you for all of your life except for you. Okay, that's everything I have for you. Thanks so much for choosing to be here with me today. If you ever want any more information about me, all of that is linked below. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's for everyone who picked group number 3. So you all picked the card, Our Lady of Sweet Rest. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love this deck so much. So this is obviously about resting. Okay, so I think the important thing to remember here is sometimes we can think we're resting, but we might not actually be, right? So sometimes we can think like, oh, well, I took a day off, but did you run errands all day, right? Or I'm resting, I'm resting, right? If you make it work, you make it intense, you make it this, it's like, are you really giving yourself rest, or is it just another thing on your to-do list? So part of rest is making sure that your mind is unplugged, you're actually relaxed, right? So resting could be taking a nap, but it also could just be spending time in nature. It could be doing a puzzle. It could be, something that doesn't seem quote unquote productive, but just allowing yourself giving yourself permission to rest. Where sometimes in life we get to that age where everything feels like work, and everything, even resting and quote unquote self-care can feel like, oh, this is just a thing, another thing on my list, and I'm putting a check mark next to it, and that means I've done it. But this is really just reminding us that, resting, everything in life is balance. And if we just keep going at a million miles per hour, you're never going to find fulfillment in life, because your body's always going to keep catching up. And then unfortunately, a lot of us, myself included, this happened to me, we don't give ourselves rest until we get to the breaking point, until we get to the point where our body literally is like, oh, you're not going to rest, I'm going to make rest for you, right? It's like that saying, you don't make time for your wellness, you're going to have to make time for your illness. So this is saying, there's nothing wrong with resting, there's nothing wrong with taking a break. Everything is in balance, all things are in balance. Resting, nature goes through cycles. There's so many things that mirror back to us that resting is an important natural part of being on earth and of the human experience. And it's just a really good reminder of that. So here is your permission, group 3, to give yourself a little rest if you have not been doing so for yourself. Okay, I'm going to pick 3 tarot cards for you just to get a little message. Okay, we have Queen of Cups coming out. 4 of Cups. And 8 of Pentacles. Okay. So I feel like with these 3, Queen of Cups is very much about emotional intelligence. It's about knowing who you are and embodying that energy, and then allowing that to kind of move through you. As we got some sunlight going on today. So okay, the Queen of Cups is about, allowing this emotional intelligence to guide you, to own who you are, to know that you can make decisions using your intuition and not just your logical mind. Again, contrary to mainstream comments about all of this. But I feel like with this 4 of Cups and this 8 of Pentacles here, maybe you've been working on something that you want to have happen, but it's just not happening. And so you're kind of like pissed at your intuition, like, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, I'm following the signs, I'm doing whatever, why isn't it happening? And just a reminder from our dear friend, Sweet Lady of Sweet Rest, I keep saying Sweet Lady of Rest, but Lady of Sweet Rest, this is your reminder that, if your intuition is telling you it's not time to do something, it's not time. No matter how much work you put into it, how much you've shown up for yourself, how clear you are with your own intuition about things, right? This is a reminder that when your body tells you no, when your intuition says it's a no, that is a logical decision, right? The Deepak Chopra has the saying, a gut decision is every cell in your body making a decision, making a choice. And so you choosing to listen to that, and maybe it's like, okay, I put in all the work, I put in the time, I put in all this, why isn't it coming to fruition? This can just be a strong reminder that as long as you're doing your work and showing up for yourself, the thing that's for you will show up eventually, even if right now you feel like it's not. And again, it could be, it's time for you to rest, it's time for you to take a little break, it's time for you to just like be present where you are until this thing that you're waiting for or working for to come in shows up. So this is not about like, don't abandon everything and put everything to the wind. Is that the saying? Just let everything go. But instead trust your intuition and trust that, maybe something what has been offered to you, but you're just like, that one doesn't feel exactly right, but should I take it because it's the only one that's showing up, right? This is just reminding us that it's important to listen to that and know that, as long as you're doing your work and doing your part of the street, rest is part of being able to have the life you want, do the things you want, have all these things come to fruition. It's not just about, I did my part, I did my work, so where is it? It is about giving yourself space and resting and balance, and not, it's not go, make things happen every single day, all the time. This card, stop. This one came out, so I feel like group 3, we are loud and clear here. It's time for you to take a little break. It's time for you to rest. This is so I feel like this card and the 4 of Cups, obviously the rest card too, but this card and this is both about just like not, there's something right in front of you that you should not walk into, right? So sometimes when we rest, sometimes when we don't feel like something is a match for us, but we don't get why, the guidance is to wait. You have no idea what you're being protected from. You have no idea what is coming for you. you have no idea what's coming for you on the other side when you just choose to continue to show up for yourself and honor that, you know, God's guidance is stop, wait, take a moment, breathe, even if you're uncomfortable. Because what you learn in that discomfort and from resting is going to help you so much more than forcing things to happen. Because if you don't deal with that discomfort now, and if you don't rest and take care of yourself now, you're always going to have to deal with it eventually. So again, you want to deal with it now or you want to deal with it later. But I mean, very, very clear message here for you guys in group 3. Stop. Rest and stop. Take a break. You deserve it. You know, just let yourself, it doesn't mean like do nothing, right? You know, so we had the 8 of Pentacles come out. So it's still about doing your part and, you know, showing up for yourself and doing what you need to do, but it's not about doing nothing, right? It's just about resting. It's about, you know, taking care of yourself and making sure, you know, your ducks are in a row, and it's not, you know, abandon everything that's important in your life, but it's still about doing the work. But it is, you know, maybe this is just a period where you're not as involved or active, you know, a time for you to stop forcing things, rest a little bit. Then we have, I just love when this happens. Nothing will come of the situation, void of course, moon. So I feel like, again, this is just really saying when you want to accept something, when you can feel that your body is like, well, that one seems like it should be it, but why do I feel off, right? This is just a reminder that if you can hear that the guidance is no, don't do it, but you keep pushing, this is what's going to come. Okay. Nothing will come of a situation when you can feel the guidance is a no, when you can feel it's not time yet, when you can feel, you know, even if you want it to be a totally different way, this is just a reminder that if you keep forcing something when it's not time, nothing's going to come of that situation because you're trying to play God and make something happen when actually maybe you're in a season of rest, you're in a season of stopping, you're in a season of slowing down, right? But if you ignore all of that, then you're going to say yes to something that, you know, doesn't actually serve you. And so again, you'll have to do even more damage to clean up that instead of just, you know, if you would have just waited, you know, if we try to rush things and force things, we end up having to like circle back around and deal with those again, instead of if we would have just waited and not tried to force things or not tried to, you know, be like, oh, I have to deal with this right now, right away with everything, right? So nothing will come of a situation if you can feel from your intuition. It's not the right choice. So we have believe in yourself coming out. So I feel like with this card, again, when we go back to this intuition here, this Queen of Cups energy, the 4 of Cups, whatever you're trying to force or make happen that you wish it was the thing it was, but it's not. This is believe in yourself. I got lipstick on my card. I'm so excited. This is about believing in yourself to the point that you, like trust your intuition is what I'm hearing, right? If it's a no, trust that it's a no. If it's not hell yes, this is the best thing ever, I'm so excited, then it's a no. So believing in yourself doesn't just mean in your capabilities. It also means in, you know, the body wisdom and the guidance that's coming through for you, because our bodies are so smart. If we listen to our intuition, doesn't mean nothing bad is going to happen. You know, there's still, life is always challenging, but believing in yourself does mean when we allow ourselves to connect to that parts of us, we can get, you know, some guidance and awareness that we might have not gotten before. And just, you know, knowing that, I feel like group 3, there's something in here of like you're trying to force something or wish things were different or wish something else was happening when, you know, it's just not right now. Okay, and then we'll close with one affirmation. Open my mind and say yes to life. Okay, so saying yes to life doesn't, you know, sometimes it's like say yes, right? Like every opportunity. But I feel like for you, group 3, maybe you are some people, you need to say yes to resting. You need to say yes to the parts of life that maybe don't seem so appealing to the ego, to resting, to slowing down, to not doing as much, taking time for yourself. So opening your mind could be just around, I understand rest is important. I understand it's important for me to take care of myself in that way, and I'm going to continue to do that. So open your mind and accept resting is good for you. It's important. It's part of life. It's how we fill ourselves up and how we can keep going and have stamina to survive in life. Okay, that's everything I have for you. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. If you want any more information about me, all that is linked below. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's for everyone who picked group number 4. So you all picked the card, Our Lady of Love. So I think this is really beautiful. I love this deck. I love this card. I mean, it's just really wonderful. So you can see like there's kind of like this burning heart energy. So I feel like for group 4, Our Lady of Love is really asking us to move past some of the limits of love we might have within ourselves, right? So it's like that Rumi quote that it's not about learning to love, it's about removing any barriers we may have. And so part of what happens when we grow, when we expand, when we evolve on the soul level is ideally, if you're doing this, we develop more compassion and understanding. So you might be being called towards, just burning away some of the ways your heart had to be hard in the past, some of the ways, some defense mechanisms you learned, some things that just don't serve you anymore, but you thought you had to hold on to because it was just, this is just how it is. This is how the world is. This is whatever. But I really feel this energy of it's time for you to put down some fighting, put down some resentments, put down some unhealed things, and instead just kind of like, let it burn away so that you can come out the other side and evolve, right? If you've been holding on to something, if you've been resisting, like, okay, I know I need to be more compassionate in this area, or I need to be more loving in this way, right? So much of the world is, we say we want world peace or we want people to get along or whatever, but we're so unwilling to look at the ways that we are not embodying that energy first. And so this is, again, just a reminder that when we get to that next layer and level of our lives, it does require us to be more loving than we used to be. And loving does not mean being a doormat. Okay, we're not talking about that. We're talking about being loving in terms of being more compassionate, being more understanding. Loving could also mean saying no to things that don't serve you anymore, but you feel like you had to keep them around because it was, the nice thing to do, right? But a loving thing to do can be ending a relationship, not just romantic, but a friendship, right? If it's not working, a loving thing to do can be setting boundaries. It can be saying no. It can be having more limits on yourself. So I feel like this card is really about embodying that next layer of the boundaries and love and things you'll need to be able to get there, instead of just, kind of moving along the way that you have been. Because again, every layer of our life is going to ask us to get to that next level and ask us to be able to we have to grow and evolve. And part of that is, again, looking at the ways that we have different boundaries and different things in our lives going on, instead of just, operating at the way we were operating before we moved into this next layer of our life. Okay, I'm going to pull 3 tarot cards for you, and then some oracle cards, some little mini messages for you guys in group 4. 6 of Cups, love that card. 9 of Pentacles, love that card too. And Knight of Cups, very nice. Okay, so I feel like 6 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, and Knight of Cups, this is very much about like balancing some inner child energy and some like grown-up energy, right? And then seeing which parts of those we need to move forward with, right? So I think Our Lady of Love it's about, the energy I'm getting is about boundaries and saying no and choosing things that actually will serve you as you move forward in your life. But part of Our Lady of Love could be, how have you been ignoring your inner child? So this isn't, when I was talking about setting boundaries and stuff, right? Maybe you, as an inner child, you learned like, I need to appease everyone. I need to be a people pleaser. I need to say yes to everything. So this is knowing that you can merge your adult self and your inner child, and you can say, okay, well, my wounding taught me I need to, fawn for everyone, or I need to fight, or I need to, whatever your wounding is, I don't know. But knowing what your wounding is, and then saying, okay, this is my adult self. This is, I have stability in my life. I have resources. I have a healthy toolkit now that I didn't have when I was a child. And so what can come from that is this awareness of, maybe this next layer of love in my life for myself is finding a balance between those two things, instead of just solely focusing on I needed to not heal my inner child, or I needed to continue these movements because I didn't feel totally safe or comfortable with things. Because then we have the Knight of Cups, which is very much about, moving forward, slow and steady. So don't feel like, you need to do all of this immediately. You need to fix every single inner child story right away, right? That's not how it works. I don't condone that. But this is just saying slow and steady. Can you take it one step at a time? Can you just identify, one way that your story from childhood is still showing up, and one way you might need to rewrite that and move forward, and able to offer some freedom for yourself, instead of, again, just feeling like you need to keep these patterns that don't serve you, and knowing that you can, this next layer does require more self-love and self-respect for yourself. And so knowing the ways that, you don't need to fawn around certain people because, for example, you have financial stability now, or you don't need to say yes to everything because you know that we live in an abundant universe and God will always provide for us, right? So this is just remembering, like, you don't have to work on all that stuff at once. It's impossible, but this is just reminding you, one step at a time. And if you've been kind of putting off getting to that next layer, that next level of your life, this is your sign that, let's do it, people. Let's level up with the self-respect and the self-love here. And again, not self-love in like a capitalistic self-care as me taking care of myself way, right? This is like, what's the hard things to do? What's the boundaries I need to set? What's the things how do I need to show up for myself in order to change my life? With that. And we have clean up your mess coming out for you. So again, I feel like, maybe mess is a triggering word for you, but, clean up your mess can be about, just knowing, okay, well, my inner child wounding was I was really reactive, and I always had to fight. And because my boundaries weren't respected, I had to like really push my boundaries on people. But instead it could be like, okay, maybe I don't need to do that anymore. Maybe I don't need to fall into these patterns as intensely as I did. And I need to just focus a little bit more on, what can I do right now? This was my old learned behavior. How can I do it differently in this way? How can I show up for myself? How can I be a little bit different? And if that means, physically cleaning up your mess, maybe your inner child, like you didn't grow up with a lot of stuff, so you tend to over hoard, or you want to have a lot of things, right? So maybe getting rid of things, cleaning up your home, all of that could come through, take it how it resonates, but clean up your mess is, just being, it feels like very self-accountability energy, and just being willing to be like, okay, this is a pattern that I used to participate in that I know does not actually serve me anymore. So I need to let it go, keep it moving. Okay, and then we have hold your vision, fixed moon. So I feel like, this card came out in the beginning, and I think it's just a sign it's time for you to go on to this next chapter, this next layer of your life. And so sometimes when we start to do that, and we're like, okay, I'm going to be responsible for myself, I'm going to clean up my mess, I'm going to do this work, right? I'm going to take one step at a time and go forward. Sometimes when we start to do that, the ego is like, whoa, actually, this isn't what I wanted. I'm scared. I'm going back on my thing. So hold your vision can just mean, trusting yourself, trusting what you feel called to move forward with, knowing that, the fear that you feel is a sign you're in the right direction, right? Because if you're getting out of your comfort zone, you're pushing yourself to become this new person, do this new thing, that is beneficial for you, even if, your ego's like, I don't want to do this. This is not helpful or fun or anything. So hold your vision just means trust yourself, trust what you're being pushed towards, trust what feels like, the right thing for you. Okay, and then, just remember, and also, if you know your why, and if you know what you're working towards, it's but it's much easier to feel motivated and feel like you can keep going through times that don't feel, the most supportive, or the most like, what the hell am I doing actually, right? If you have the long-term vision and you know kind of where you want to go, that can be helpful for us as we keep going with that. The answer is in the silence. Okay, so I feel like a way that you can connect to some of these visions, a way you can connect to yourself, to this guidance of what to do next, is silence. So silence is such a great teacher for us. Sometimes, if we're scared to be alone with our thoughts, that's why it can be hard for us to hear what we need to do. So the answer is in the silence. If you don't pray and meditate, highly suggest starting, just sitting still, even going on a walk without music or without a podcast or an audiobook, just letting things be quiet, just really hearing the guidance that comes through, just allowing, our higher power to speak to us when we have those tools in place so that we can have a conversation and we can hear the guidance that's coming through instead of feeling like, I need to figure this out right now. It's like allowing guidance to come in instead of being like, tell me what to do. Don't force it, but instead allow it. And then this one came out. I listened to the wisdom of my heart. So again, I feel like these two cards really go together. The silence, and I listen to the wisdom of my heart of just like, there's things we can only hear if we're willing to be silent, if we're willing to be still. And that is what will come through when you allow that to happen. And I think that will help you navigate, this next layer of your life. The love you need, the boundaries you need, the self-accountability, the self-responsibility you need to be able to do this and move forward, is making sure you're listening to your heart, to God, to your intuition, to all of that guidance to be able to get there. Okay, that's everything I have for you. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. If you want any more information about me, all of that is linked below. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.